Judy, I think this is such a perfectly needed, uh, time, much timely film for people who need a little bit of lightness and a fun female rom-com. What was it about Tripped Up that really made you want to direct this movie?
I mean, yes, it's so nice to hear that. And I've heard this from several people, and I'm so grateful that people are connecting with it. I've produced movies for a while. I've produced films that have gone to Venice, Sundance, Berlin, etc. that, are kind of acclaimed dramas. And I'm really proud of that work. And I still produce for a lot of those filmmakers. And I think on at the same time, I've been an executive in media and made things like, 73 Questions is My Baby. It's like, quite a range of things. And I think I, for myself, I was like, when I read the script and I just loved that it was fun and it was funny and it was about girlfriends. And I wanted to make things that, you know, even if it was an indie that had a commercial appeal that could travel and people could watch and feel connected to. And um, I'm proud of my acclaimed dramas that I joke with friends saying that 5 people watch them, you know, but no, maybe more people have watched those things. That it was, I just wanted to make like something that, yeah, was about girlfriends. And I think I hadn't read a script like that yet. And I don't think there are enough female buddy comedies or rom-coms, and we need more of them.
Well, there's such great chemistry and a real bond you see between Lizzie, Mary, Kai, and Taylor. How involved were you in the casting of the film?
Very, very involved, very involved. I mean, I love Pat McCorkle, our casting director, and Becca, her associate, who, um, you know, gave me really incredible options. And I had loved Leah's performance in the half of it. And when I knew that there was a possibility of working with her, I mean, she was an immediate yes. And then it was, there was no racial identifier on the page. Um, and I think that that really was important. And I just really was going with a combination of like auditions, experience, but also like a certain type of vibe and understanding how committed they could be to this indie film. And um and I'd say like the, incredible actresses also spent a lot of time working together and workshopping with each other, and we're so invested in each other's success that that friendship really translates into the screen. And I love improv, and there's a lot of improv in this film. So I think it was really establishing who these characters are and giving the space to our actors to also really make these their own. Because as I said to them in rehearsals, even with the writers in the room, I was like, you guys are the age of these characters. We're not. And so you need to take what's on the page and really make it feel like how you would speak and be and react. And we welcome all of that feedback. And I'd say that it was incredibly that collaboration, I think, amongst the actors or amongst all of us, like really is what shows. And it was really fun to just, as a director, like you can give when your actors really understand the characters they're playing, you can give like a note or an adjustment and they can shift incredibly, and it was a joy to work with them.
Well, each one seems to be on a personal journey of their own while they're out on this adventure. I have to ask about the tiny house, the doll house. What made that the perfect home for these girls?
It's so funny because in the script, the place where they're meant to stay is a like a scary looking run down cabin that is actually terrifying to them. And we simply couldn't find this place. Like we had looked at so many things, and I had gone with the girls to get our nails done like the day before the production, and we happened to drive by these mobile homes, and one of the producers said, I mean, look, maybe we get one of the mobile homes. And I was like, oh, yes. And then I went to see them and I picked the most ridiculous looking one that looked like a cupcake because I was like, if we're going to make that adjustment, let's just go there. And it's one of the most fun. It's so fun to see the way people react to that scene because that really was not the script. And a lot of what they say and react, that I mean, it's like improv, you know,
Well,
like Saturday Night Live, like it's got shutters, which is just incredible.
it's perfect for a wayward girls trip, last minute location that you would find. It's wonderful. I have to say, Leah's performance is exceptional in this. How many hot dogs did she get through?
Oh my God. It was so ridiculous. There were so many hot dogs and it was so disgusting. I feel like we were just constantly making hot dogs that day. Um, a few, few hundred, because we have that scene is covered in so many different angles. And we had like a spit bucket. So she would, she and Danny would like chew, 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 spit, you know, but they were committed. And it was crazy because I remember that um one of the grips who I don't know why he wasn't paying attention, but someone in the G&E team suddenly was like, get them water. Like he actually thought that they were eating it. And we all looked at him because we were like, who's yelling? But he was like concerned for their safety. And we were just laughing because the fact that he actually thought that they were eating this thing and, he believed. We were like, don't worry, buddy. There's spit buckets right under this table. They're chewing and they're spitting. They're chewing and they're spitting. They're not eating these things. He was like, "Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed." But they just went for it.
There's so many poignant scenes in this, and I'm really curious to see which was your was a scene that really stood out to you that came from the page and really just excelled when you finally shot it looking back.
I love the fight scene. Um, and I would say like we made some really interesting adjustments in rehearsals when we were workshopping that scene. And that's again because our actors really knew the characters they were playing and they made recommendations. But I remember that was a day to really work towards because that had the most number of pages. We were filming outside. It was incredibly hot. It was very emotional. We cover it several different ways. And I would say that this scene also really shows the actors' commitment to each other because even if they weren't the ones on screen, they were bringing everything to their performance. And so you can see these reactions and so on, really kind of coming alive. So I love that scene because I feel like it it was incredibly fun to direct such a dramatic scene that really that's where when you have like this huge fight, that's where everything you've been working towards as an actor, as a director, as a team is going to kind of come together. And I remember when we started the edit and the editor was like, which scene do you want me to start with? I said, you have to start with the fight scene because I need to make sure that all the scenes prior really can culminate here and that we are able to understand how to come off the scene as well. So for me, that's my favorite scene for many reasons.
What do you hope lingers with audiences that watch Tripped Up? Is it lean on your friends? Is it be vulnerable? Is it all of those things or something else you'd like to linger with them?
I mean, I think, you know, um, I'm gonna name drop here, but I remember talking, Gloria Steinem is a friend, and I was kind of getting really down about, I was in the middle of, I'm in the WGA. We were in the midst of a strike. I was do a lot of work, you know, in social justice, and I was really upset with stuff that was happening in India. I mean, I still am, but and I don't know. I was kind of like bummed out. And I remember saying, like, Gloria, how do you contain all of this? Like, how do you stay strong? And like, and she threw out this really funny line where she was like, well, you have your friends, and that's how you keep going. And I'd say, like, in times like this that are like incredibly divisive, it's like, yes, be with those that, you know, you love and can support you, and that's how you can get through anything. And so I think that's what this movie is about. So it's really about, yes, you can have moments where your friendship will fall apart, but if it really is strong, it'll come together. And so cherish the, your girlfriend.
Well, I'm exceptionally grateful that I got a chance to chat with you about this one.